Hey monkeys, how you doing? Damian Keys here. Okay, I want to start this video with an apology. I want to apologize to all you guys. I feel like the last 4 to 6 weeks have been just crazy mental busy in my life, and I don't feel like I've been giving as much content as I really would have liked. The Facebook lives have gone. I've just been struggling to keep up with everything, and you know when opportunities come up and you get really excited about them and they're like buses, all of a sudden you have 2 or 3 or even 4 opportunities that have cropped up for me that I can't say no to, and each one of them is just a lot of things I need to think about. So I'm constantly in this sort of weird overview of stuff which I haven't ever been in before. There's not a lot of detail, and I feel like the thing that's suffered is the detail, and the thing that's really suffered is a lot of the content I'm doing. So it means I've kind of just fallen back onto the routine and the structure of just the show and just me with a phone, and no more, because I think it's time to up my game. I feel bad and I want to give more value, and I've got a bunch of ideas. I just need to find a way of working harder, but I've got a few ideas. So firstly, an apology. I'm upping the game, and I need your help with this because I'm going to recruit, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But there's a few things I want to do. I'm spending a lot of time when I am talking to people on my phone, talking on Facebook, and I want to be able to book in some slots. So back in the day, which was April, when we had BIM and ACM, I used to do tutorials. So that was a big thing. When we started BIM, it wasn't just about classroom teaching. The reason why we had more success in the first year of BIM with our students than probably the next 5 years put together was because outside of the classroom, and loads of first year BIMers would remember this, what we actually did was we sat down one-to-one, had a cup of tea and said, tell me about what you're doing, tell me about how I can help, tell me about the strategy, and then we can work on that together. And it was what built BIM. That was what built BIM. You know, the amazing teachers and the one-to-one side to it was what made it great back in the day, and allowed it to grow. And it was something I've always loved to do, is just sit down with musicians and talk one-to-one. So I'm trying to do that now digitally on today's today's platforms, but there is just nothing better than having that one-to-one where we're actually talking about it backwards and forwards. So I want to put those tutorials back into my life. I'm going to find a way of doing it. I'm going to do 3 to 5 a week, and I'm going to have slots that are going to be booked into my diary where you can actually access some time with me to talk about what it is that you want to do. So I'm going to find these times. So say I'll have 2 hours on a Tuesday and 2 hours on a Thursday, for example, and I'm going to have those booked in so Katie can book them into my life. I'm also going to do the same thing with Skypes. So I'll have another 3 half-an-hour slots for Skypes as well. Now, obviously, I know that there's going to be a lot of people that want to book in to talk about bands, businesses, social media, strategies, album releases, etc., etc. So the face-to-face ones will have to be in Brighton because I'm in Brighton, unless I happen to be in another area and I'll be able to book them in then. So it'll just be a case of watching what I'm doing. I'm going to find a way of keeping everyone up to date. But if you want to do that, it will be in Brighton. If you are in America or in another country, then it's going to be Skype, but we can still have the same conversations via Skype one-to-one. So those are 2 things that I want to get into my life, into my diary, and go back old school where I can actually one-to-one sit down with you guys and actually talk about your strategy. Another thing that I want to do, we're going to work on some more competition ideas, but another thing I want to do is a podcast. And this is something that I wanted to talk about because a few people have asked me if I've got a podcast. And at the moment, I'm like, I need one. I get it. Podcasting is growing and it's massive, and it's a new massive way of engaging with and for people to consume content that aren't by a computer or are doing something else, driving or at the gym or whatever it's going to be. So I need to do a podcast. The thing is finding time is going to be very, very difficult. And our team here is, relatively small. It's growing, and we are going to be recruiting quite soon. But one thing I'd like to recruit now, and this is for Brighton because I'm in Brighton, unless there's a clever way of doing it, but I want to do a podcast and I need somebody to help me. I want somebody who can, from a technical point of view, can help me with putting it together and potentially having a way where we can actually put something in a different format to anything that we've done before. So if you're thinking about people like Joe Rogan, if you're thinking about those sorts of podcasters, I'd like to have something like that, just 1 hour. Now it's really, really important because of my time, it's really important that I can just almost walk in, sit down, talk, converse for an hour, stop it, and then go off to my other meetings. But it will be booked in a diary. So what I need is someone who can do all of that around me, so I can just walk in, sit down, we can put the podcast together, and I can get that out. So I'll put some budget into it. I haven't got lots of budget, but I'll put some budget into it because, you know, I'm not expecting free work. But what I'm after is someone who wants to come on board this team and potentially grow. So if you feel like this is for you, now what's really important is I need you to have experience in podcasting, or at least understanding the gear from the audio side for podcasting. It's not complicated, but there is going to be more the audio based stuff. So it's going to have some kind of mini home studio to be able to produce it outside of, if I get some microphones, etc. But if that's you, if you are thinking that you want to come on board and you want to work with me on a podcast that we can do together, that can go out once a week, that we can, again, put some more content out in a different consumable way to anything I've done in the past, then you need to get in touch. If you want to get in touch, what you've got to do is you've got to email Katie, and that is Katie, down below, katie@dkmanagement.co.uk. And if you just make the heading as podcast job application, and if you can do that, then I'll look through them, I'll bring a couple of you in, we'll have a chat, and we'll get this podcast on the road, and hopefully, like I said, it can grow into other things, bigger and better things. So that's the video, really. I'm up in the game. I've decided that I've been out of it. I feel like I've been given a little bit too substandard content, and I feel like I can do better. And if I am going to try and do what I've been saying is, which is help as many musicians as possible, I've got to up my game. So I think that was the main thing. I'm going to grab my phone, which is up my bottom, and just make sure, because I had some notes for the things I wanted. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back Facebook Live, because I feel like that was something I neglected. So Facebook Live, I'll probably put in, I'll have to find a time for it, because I don't want them to be sporadic, but at the same point, it takes up half an hour to an hour, so it might have to be a bit earlier, and I'll find the time, but I'll bring back the Facebook Live. So I'm going to commit to all of those things. What I need you guys to do is just engage with me. I want to know your problems. I want to know what you're working on. I want to know what the issues are. You know, those are the things that allow me to talk about the content that I do. So I just need you guys to just be on board and just help me as much as possible, push out the content as much as possible, engage, which helps the Facebook algorithm. I need you guys to help me help you, if that makes sense. And that's it. So if you want to be involved, then all you've got to do is email Katie about the podcasting thing. Other than that, it will be on a hashtag 60min for the Skypes and for the tutorials, but we'll be picking a lot more winners now, because we've got t-shirts, we've got Skypes, we've got actual face-to-face meetings, and each week we'll have one big prize as well. So there's a lot of stuff that we can get involved with together, and this is what I'm talking about with the collabs. There's a lot of stuff we can do together now. So if you want to be involved, you need to be hashtagging, ideally on YouTube, hashtag 60minwin, but you know, Facebook and Instagram I'll be watching as well, and keep hitting me up. So hopefully that helps, and let's see how this goes. Catch you again tomorrow. Quick side note, because we just had a chat, because there's going to be a few different competitions, and it depending on where you are in the world and what you want. But if you want a Skype, if you want a face-to-face meeting, if you want a t-shirt, it probably will help if you put in the comment t-shirt hashtag 60minwin, or Skype hashtag 60minwin, or face-to-face hashtag 60minwin. It just helps me, because I can actually give you the thing that you want should we choose you. So if that's what you want, then it's still a competition. It's still about getting the algorithm out there. It's still about getting you guys involved. But at the same point, at least that way you can actually say you want a Skype and you don't get a t-shirt, if that makes sense. So yeah, comment below.